Okay, so hello to another video. Welcome. Sorry, this video took a lot longer than the other video to drop. The space between them was a bit long, but work was catching up, and it's the end of the year, so you already know that work is a bit heavier on that part because we're basically finishing everything. So, also, aside from that, there wasn't a lot going on. You can see that OPBR basically we got nothing ever since Law came out, and it's the same with JJK. We basically got nothing ever since Sukuna came out. So I decided to save the video to talk about everything in one bulk. That being the Sukuna drop, the buffs, and the Gojo reveal with the Gojo drop. And we will talk about Gojo. Oh, we will get to Gojo because this Gojo I have a lot to say about that Gojo, so stay tuned. Aside from that, let's start with the buffs. This is basically the easy part to get through. I don't like these buffs. To me, these are not buffs. These are bandages slapped on top of old units to make them quote-unquote playable. These buffs didn't do much. Nothing here was buffed per se. They just changed numbers and gave Momonosuke, I think they gave him a what is it called? Stats notification. That's about that. So nothing happened basically. These units are still as dead as they were. They haven't been any better. Now I know that Rayleigh lovers will come out to say that, oh, Rayleigh is better now. Rayleigh is he is good. His shield is now 30% of his HP, which we will get to it, and he now can tank more and all that stuff. I just want to tell you that you're dreaming. You're basically absolutely dreaming. Unless you are going to perfect dodge, like at least 80% of the attacks coming to you, you're dead. Rayleigh has zero protection aside from the shield, which is absolutely insane. He doesn't even have like the stats notification. He doesn't even have status notification on the flag. He doesn't even have like 80%. I think they didn't give him that, where you reduce the time of stats effects by 80%. He doesn't even have that. So yeah. So let's take a look at the buffs quickly and let's talk about him. So Momonosuke before the buffs, I used to call this man as the late counter to Kaido, because they dropped Momonosuke, a red defender who teleports to the furthest flag and inflicts what is it called? What was it called? Capture block. So he inflicts capture block, and he teleports to the like the furthest flag, and then he transforms into the dragon form, reducing damage and attacking in a long range. Like, come on, like who made this? Back in the day, I used to call this man a super late Kaido counter because that's what he was basically. He was a Kaido slash King counter that was released a year later, an actual year later. Like I remember that Kaido released on like the 4th anniversary. These units were released, Momonosuke and Green Bull that is, they were released at the end of that era. Like they were released at the end of the 4th anniversary. We like these two units, they were released before Yace. Yace were 5th anniversary. So I didn't like Momonosuke day one. He wasn't a good defender, he wasn't a good unit. And Green Bull was the better unit overall. Now, ignoring this, let's move on to the next part. Let's read these traits after the buff. So at the moment, what they gave Momonosuke is basically now instead of 70% HP to recover the gauge to 150%, he now needs to be at 50% HP or more. They removed this fucking trash because I have no idea who makes these like traits when attacking certain type of units. Reduce cooldown or do this or do that when like it's like super niche. Like when this trait came on, I'm pretty sure the units that we had that were what is it called? The unit that had Animal Kingdom pirates were like Albert and Queen, and that was like barely meta. Like Albert was meta, Queen wasn't used. So you were reducing the cooldown time of skill 2 by 50% or removing inflict the status effect by like 1 unit in the fucking meta, which is insane. So now they made it like runner, which is a lot better. And now you reduce the cooldown time of skill 1 and 2 because they removed this remove stats effects. They removed it to like another trait. This is basically the same. Now instead of being hitting people with hit 3 of a normal attack, it's now hit 1 or 2, but it does the same, so it didn't change that much. This trait right here is useless. This is made to counter Law. They basically made Momonosuke and Rayleigh soft counters to Law and the Gear 5. And I have no idea who thought of this. Like, we have a lot of units in the game that deserve a buff. Units that are actually good, and when buffed, they will be meta/playable again. Yet they buff these units that no one asked for. Aside from Rayleigh, Rayleigh's buff was needed, but they fumbled it, so no one cares. This is basically Momonosuke to counter Law, Ray to counter Luffy, but they didn't do anything, and Ray and Luffy are still the meta in the game at the moment, with Kizaru and Saturn/Kuma. That's about that. Like, this is basically the top 5 units in the meta at the moment. So, yeah. But these traits didn't do anything. Moving on to like traits 1 and 2. These are the rest of the traits, by the way. So they decided to give him the hold skill. This didn't change anything. And now when he's in the treasure area, he nullifies status effects and resists stagger and knockback, which is at this point like it's a stable in any defender. I don't think a defender has came out without this trait or anything similar to it ever since, I think, a Snake, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure since a Snake. And now when he is in the treasure area, he reduces damage by 30%, and he still have that trash increased damage dealt to Animal Kingdom pirates, of which there is 0 units in the game from the Animal Kingdom pirates. There is 0 units in the game that are meta that are from the Animal Kingdom pirates. 0. Actual 0. I have no idea who was this made for. They could have made it increased damage dealt to runners like they did above, but they kept it for some reason. Like, the lore traits in this game absolutely suck ass, like for real. When taking damage from this or that, especially when it's a niche tag like the Animal Kingdom pirates, of which even after buffs you can only see like Defender Kaido and like Albert maybe, and like maybe Runner Kaido if he's buffed next year. I don't know, man. Like, this is weird to me. Next up, they gave him like an attack and defense buff instead of this Kaido knockoff Kaido defender trait, which is when you're taking damage less than or 10%, you heal 3%, which was useless on Momonosuke when it was given to him, because unlike Kaido, who had 70% defense, and at the time of release, no one could damage Kaido unless you're Roger with an attack buff or Akainu again with an attack buff. You couldn't deal damage to Kaido anyways, because 70% defense buff was too much for the game at the moment, at that time. And that's why I believe they released Luffy back then, but that's another story for another time. He now has 50% damage reduction, which he already had. They didn't add anything, which is weird to me, because most of the time when they do stuff like this, where they remove traits from the main trait and move it to another place, they add a different trait to the unit. They didn't do that. And then they gave him like HP recovery by skill 2 when you attack people, skill 2. Pretty sure that is the Boro Breath skill. This did nothing. Luffy still one-shots you because he ignores all of this, basically. Who else? What is he called? Kizaru still nigs you, Garp still nigs you, Kuma still nigs you. Like, most of the attackers in the meta will absolutely one-shot you to oblivion. I have no idea who this buff was made for. The same with Rayleigh. They now made his defense shield 30% instead of 10%. Whoop-de-doo. He doesn't get defense buff, so this shield is basically a one-shot protection. That's it. This is a one-shot protection. And even then, like, Akuma, who teleported to you and took the shield out, can just hold what it's called, can just hold the Orusa's shock skill, and you're basically dead. Because unless you perfect dodge it, if you use the hold skill or you stand still, you're dead either way. Like you're dead either way. It doesn't matter. Now when he perfect dodges, he deals 50% of fixed percentage damage instead of 30%. That 30% did nothing. That 50% is still doing nothing. It's percentage damage, aka something that around 90% of the meta have some kind of trait to counter. I think aside from Kizaru, for example. That's about that. I really don't know who these buffs were made for. Like, this is better, but is it meta? No. Now when you perfect dodge, you get 50% of that shield, but technically you get 60 because you'll get 10% if you knock someone back. But if you don't knock someone back with your skills, good luck, it doesn't matter. I really would have preferred if this would have been not when you knock an enemy, when you, well, not even when you down an enemy, when you hit an enemy with a skill, recover the defensive shield. This would have been better, a lot better. But no, of course they have to go with that when you knock back an enemy. So if you don't knock back an enemy, you're cooked, basically. And now when you're holding skill 2, you're getting skill 1. Whoop-de-doo, both skills suck ass. The hold skill basically lets you stay still for any unit that ignores damage reduction to one-shot you easy. And the other skill takes you out of the flag. I have no idea who made this really, or why. He was flawed when he was made, and when he buffed, the buff was fumbled as well. So this is really weird to me. I don't know. So yeah, now he can refill the gauge to 150%, I guess. And now he reduces damage by 30% and resists stagger and knockback. And now he heals better. Now he heals. Now I hate this because this is a semi-buff. They made his heals better, but now he doesn't heal normals, which was a great source of healing for him. You're attacking someone with normal, you heal. But now you need to attack someone with a skill to heal. I mean, it was trash before though, so I guess. And now he will nullify... this is the same. This is basically the same. The buffs basically did nothing. You'll never play a game and find a Rayleigh that is doing something or being useful to the actual game state. Same with Momonosuke. I really don't know what these buffs were made for. I guess let's hope for the EX buffs to be better than this shit, because this is actual trash disguised as buffs. So yeah, that's about the buffs in OPBR. That's about it for OPBR. Nothing else happened ever since then. So I guess we're still waiting for Blackbeard and maybe like a buffed Shanks, maybe, I don't know. But that's about that. Let's move on to JJK now. So for JJK, basically, I'm going to show you now. We're going to talk about 3 things. First of all, we're going to talk about Sukuna and how meta is he or how useful is he. Next up, we're going to talk about standard summons and how fucking shit the rates are in this game in general. I have some standard summons that I did because I was bored. And then we're going to talk about Gojo, and yeah, that's it. So for Sukuna, let me show you the summons real quick. Now I have muted the summons. I did not get Sukuna. I spent the 2 tickets and I spent 3k cubes on him, hoping to get actually the memory, because the memory, again, the memory is insane. The memory basically is good for both Sukuna and Gojo. It's a really good memory that increases damage, increases crit damage, and gives you crit buff when your when your CE is higher than 60. So it's a really good memory. Here I got a Black Flash and I was excited and stuff, and then I saw a memory and I was like, okay, let's go, memory, we could be it. And then I got mission start, absolute trash, no one cares about your enemy, fuck off. That's about that for the Sukuna summons. I'm not really like excited by Sukuna, and if I got him, it would have been like an okay moment, because Sukuna basically does nothing new per se. He is a damage dealer, and that's about that. He doesn't do anything else. He doesn't buff himself. He doesn't provide any gameplay changes to the team or like any buffs for the team or anything like that. He just how can I say this? He just does deal damage and that's it. Meanwhile, other units that we have seen in this anniversary deal damage and do something else. For example, Todo providing Yuji with like another year or two of being meta by buffing him and giving him Black Flash increased rate and dealing a shit ton of damage himself. If you've seen the showcase for Todo in the previous video, you would have seen the amount of damage he was doing, and he is A0. Sukuna is basically doing nothing of that matter. He does good damage, he's like the best yellow damage dealer in the game, but that doesn't say much when every yellow tower floor or yellow content is doable without him. Maybe he will be like insane in the future. Maybe that will happen, who knows? But I don't think we're getting anything insane with this Sukuna. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really in love with this anniversary in JJK. An anniversary that gave us 2 units. It's good if you're free to play because now you have the ability to skip and save for like the next anniversary and the anniversary after that and all of that stuff. But really, it was disappointing to me seeing that we didn't get what we expected, which is basically a new red Jujutsu damage dealer. We need one. We don't have one. Yuta isn't good by himself, and Jogo is trash. So, as great as Yuta is, he doesn't do enough. Mainly due to that his skill 3 does not deal pure Jujutsu damage. It deals Jujutsu and melee damage as well. And I have no idea like why is that a thing even after the buff. Like I get it, he's hitting people with the sword, but we saw that his sword skills are like he can imbue his sword with cursed energy, so that entire skill could have been Jujutsu after the buff, but they left it as is. Again, lower hitting usefulness in video games for absolute no reason. But that's about that. Let me show you like videos of high tower floors being done by Gojo completely normally without the need of anything else. Okay, so shout out to the GOAT himself, Iori, I think that's his name. Iori, yeah. He's the GOAT, basically. The gameplay that he provides and the tower floors that he provides guides for is insane. And he was the one who inspired my Limited Floor 5. If anyone knows, Limited Floor 5 is basically it's Tower 81, and he did Tower 81 without Ghetto and without New Yuta. So shout out to him. He was the one that provided me with the idea to be able to complete Limited Floor 5 this month. Now, I'm not gonna show the whole video, of course. If you wanna watch the entire video, I will be linking it down below. Visit Bro's channel, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. As you can see, the floor is doable. The Goat Choco is already there. You can see we're gonna play this. This is floor 87, so this is like a very high tower floor. You can see it's completely doable without Sukuna, and it's being done at the moment right now with Gojo, completely normal. And here we'll see the damage. Look at this damage, it's insane. It's already good. You don't need any more damage. It's turn 30. Gojo the Goat will deal enough damage to beat this boss, as you can see. Boom. Let's see the actual like damage both ults did. And we have 26 million damage. 26, like here you go. I can get it back to you. And here you go. 26 million damage. 26 million damage is insane. We've already it's doing more than enough. And what I really love about Gojo more than Sukuna is being multi-hit. It's not being multi-hit. I'm sorry. It being AOE. AoE skills, in my opinion, will forever be better than single hit skills. They do the same damage. Why should I hit only one target when I can hit multiple targets? This is why I love Kamo more than I love Inumaki. Is Inumaki quote unquote better? Yes. Inumaki will. He doesn't need to recharge his skill, but he will run out of CE. They have their pros and cons. However, I do love Kamo more solely for the fact that he debuffs the entire floor. He debuffs all of the enemies at one time. I don't need to switch buffing and debuffing to min-max damage. I'm just clicking skills and moving on. And this is why I love Gojo more. We never know what they will pull in the future. Tower floors have been random between multiple enemies and single enemy, so having the choice of being able to do AoE damage is 100% better than single target, and that's why I prefer Gojo to Sukuna. So to me, Gojo does everything. Let's switch up to floor 90. Here we go, floor 90, and it's already beaten. Let's see the damage, the final damage that he did, because I'm pretty... Oh, okay. This wasn't the final damage, doesn't matter that much. As we can see, of course, look at the main target that we will see right here. Look here, look here. Let me use my mouse. Oh, who's that? That is Shoko, the best yellow support in the game. Wow, I wonder why. I wonder why we're using Shoko. Now, imagine if you don't have Shoko and you have Sukuna, you're cooked. You wanna know why you're cooked? Because this floor needs heals, and you're cooked. And it's a buff floor, I'm pretty sure. So if you don't have Shoko again, you're cooked. I believe that support are better than DPS. They will keep power creeping DPS units in the future. It is hard to power creep support units because what is like the best that they can do? Have you seen what the power creep has done between Domain Megumi and Kusokabe? One does 300% damage dealt increase on like the span of like 5 turns. It's like 100, 200, 300, and then the domain is closed in the 300, and then you go to 200, 100. So like it's a span of 5 turns. You have the damage dealt increase only, and then you have Kusokabe who goes like, okay, if I get 8 crits, you have 150 damage per, you have 150% damage dealt increase for the entire match as long as I'm getting 1 crit per 3 turns. Now this is good, however in debuff floors he's useless. So you see how support units are harder to power creep? Like if they wanna make a unit that is better than Kusokabe, they will need to try harder. They will need to go like okay, so what is this man doing? Damage dealt increase by 150% the entire game? Okay, fuck that. This next unit will not need to do any damage, and it will have a trait on its, like, a basic trait without using any skills. Every turn, you get damage dealt increase for 150%. That's it. And then you can do other buffs with your skills. So it's harder to make more broken support units than it is to make a DPS. We've seen at the moment that they can make broken DPS units. We've seen like with 100 and 120% potential Yuji, who is the best Taijutsu red DPS. Next up we have Sukuna, who is the best yellow DPS. And then next we have Gojo, coming to Gojo, who is at the moment the best Taijutsu blue DPS units. DPS between quotation marks. That's about that. This is it. They will just spam more numbers. So Yuji can go up to 2100% on ult. Sukuna has like I think 1800. Let me double check real quick. Okay, so I just checked and it is 2100% as well at level 10. They will just spam more numbers. That's it. It's easier to make more broken DPS than it is broken support units. So my advice, skip Sukuna, completely skip Sukuna. You do not need him. He is not needed at all. If you want to summon, if you want to spend your cubes on a yellow unit, you're struggling in yellow and you need a yellow support unit, something that can give you the push to beat other tower floors or harder content, 100% go for Kusukebe. 100% go for Kusukebe, who will most likely be coming to global after the anniversary. So you already have your time to see how much you have spent cube-wise on the anniversary to see if you want to skip or get Kusukebe. I actually think I will get Kusukebe because at the moment, like, we can see how much standard has been fucked, and this will segue us to standard. And now that we are talking about standard, standard fucking sucks ass at the moment. The rates are absolute shit. We need rates buffs. We need rates buffs for standard. Standard at the moment is filled by units that are super old and unplayable. So getting one of the good units that will be added in the future is not something that is easy to get. So they need to give us better rates. Remove the R units from the pool completely, or like leave them but lower their percentages and increase the percentage of SSR characters, because you will see right now I am getting a shit ton of absolute memories when I don't need them, and the game is not even giving me new memories. Like, you're just going to get memory after memory after memory after memory, and you don't even need them. You want the character, you want the unit. Nothing. The game has the worst stats wise for units. I think it's like 2.5%, which is very, very, very low for like any gacha game I've ever played. I think in OPBR, like the game that I was just talking about at the start of the video, it's 7%. 7% to get the unit that you want. 7% chance to get a 4-star character. You know what I mean? 7% chance. The stats itself for the actual character, it's below 1% or like 1%, I think. But you get the idea. It's 7% chance to get a 4-star character. In JJK, it's 2.5%. That is very low. That is absolutely low. And this is why the advice of, oh, skip this, it will be coming to standard later, sadly, it's no longer applicable. If you want a broken unit, you'll have to go for said broken unit. Waiting for standard to be updated and then summoning to get said unit, no. As you can see here, like, I heard that this is like yellow Mekamaru, and I kept fucking clicking because I don't want it. I already have like 3 copies of his ass, and at this point he's doing nothing. Like, he's good for like certain floors, but as we know with this game and tower floor and harder content, they treat harder content by not making it actually harder. They just give the boss immunities and better buffs and better debuffs. So at the moment, bosses are immune to everything that can skip a turn aside from Gojo's domain. They are immune to all debuffs for some reason. Sometimes the boss go like, I'm not gonna get debuffs, lol. That's it. Nope. Debuffs? No, I'm not gonna get that. Sometimes the boss has the trait that gives him total damage reduction in like after like 50% of his HP is taking. This is really weird. Taking this approach when making bosses, it's really bad because, like, we can see a unit like Todo. It has disruption special. Every single boss in the game has immune disruption. They're not getting disrupted because they made the boss. They want the bosses, future bosses that is, they want future bosses to take the entire 30 turns. They want them to take the entire 30 turns. Which will segue us from the entire 30 turns to the GOAT, the new GOAT, the biggest disappointment I've ever seen from a unit that is final before anniversary. Because my man, this is absolute insanity. Gojo. Fuck, they fumbled him. That is an insane fumble. Like, absolute fumble. Now, we're just gonna wait and see how are we gonna do stuff here in global. But my advice right now in the current meta, do not summon for Gojo. Just don't. He's not worth it. Is he good? Yes. Does he offer anything new? No. Does he offer anything to support the team? No. Then what does he do? Let's talk about it. My man, Domain Gojo, the greatest of all time, he decided to stay for 10 turns. On turn 11, he will use his domain, fuck off. They decided to make a Gojo that is unable to use his domain or his alt. Okay, so they decided to make a Gojo unit that cannot alt, basically, because its alt is 2300 for some fucking reason. And also, they future-proofed it. You might ask yourself, the fuck? How the fuck did they future-proof that? They future-proofed it. Like, how they wanted you to play Domain Gojo is to use his like damage, use his skills, and then on turn 11 you're forced to use his alt, the domain, and then you use the domain, and then he fucks off. Now, if you don't want to use that strat with your unit that you made cubes for, you can't. Good luck, you cannot. Why you cannot? Because they fucking future-proofed it. Even in the future, if they make alt much easier to get with memories and unit support and all of that, if you alt with Gojo, he will leave. He will leave at the end of the turn, even if you alt before turn 11. He will just fucking leave. Who the fuck asked for red domain Gojo but worse? I have no idea. Now, it would have been even forgivable. Like, I would have been more forgiving about this if he was like a pure support sub DPS for blue, because blue fucking sucks. Blue is shit. Because at the moment, every single blue buffer or support unit is semi-limited. Because you have your best blue DPS units, which is Sukuna and Yuta, who are both limited. Complete 100% best blue support unit, which is Geto, who's also limited. So you have all of these blue units that are limited, and then you have Miguel, who became after the buff the best taijutsu support unit for blue, who's also limited. So you have 4 blue units that are completely needed for any blue content, limited. And now you're adding the 5th one, who's also limited, but he's not universal. He's only taijutsu. So he's useless in Jujutsu floors. Now you might say, oh, but skill 3, it does range damage. Yes, it does. It does 550% damage to all enemies. See this 550%? Yeah, it's doing nothing. It's absolutely doing nothing. I have seen the same YouTuber, Iori, who used Domain Gojo in floor 81 and in floor what is it called? 78. He's doing nothing. You do like 12 million out of like 100 million, and you need to complete the rest after Gojo leaves. Why? Who made this? What is this made for? And the confusion gets better when you look at the traits. He has break enhancement. When attacking a unit that is broken, he will deal 50% more damage. When every single boss in the game takes a shit ton of time to be broken, sometimes you need to get them to like 25% of their HP. Oh, I know what this is for. This is for taijutsu blue floors. So you cannot use him. So he is absolutely fucking useless. When he performs a black flash, he gets to taijutsu and jujutsu and recovers his own HP. And here's the fucking trash trait that he leaves. And then he gives buffs for 4 turns by 60%. I 100% believe that this trait was made just for them to be laughing at us. We have been asking for a blue jujutsu buffer for like I don't know how long, and then they go like, "You want a blue buffer? We heard your prayers, and we will give you a blue buffer." And we were like, "Really? Yes. He will buff you after 10 fucking turns, okay? And that buff will last 4 turns, and after that you're on your own. Good luck." I get that they made him like this for quote-unquote lore purposes, but for real, skip this Gojo. 100% skip him. If Ghetto is still available, if Ghetto was still available in JP or in Global, get Ghetto. Just fucking get Ghetto. At least with Ghetto, you don't have to worry about your CE, just like this Gojo. And unlike this Gojo, you're getting 200%, I think it's like 200 and 195% damage dealt increase active from the third turn of the game till the end, till the turn 30th of the fucking game. From start of the battle till end of the battle, you're getting 200% damage increase buff. So yeah, this anniversary was hella mid in the fact that units that are new DPS, they offer nothing aside from higher damage values, and that's it. Even Sukuna, even Yuji. So yeah, let's hope the next anniversary is better. And yeah, that's about that. I noticed that we got a lot of subscribers the last video, so I'm hoping that we can get the same amount of subscribers this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, it helps. Once I get 50 subscribers, I will be able to live stream events to you guys and have the community and everything. I don't think I'll have my own Discord server at the moment. I'm not really that good with managing a Discord server and all of that. So at the moment, I'm in the main Discord server, and I'm also in the main Discord server for OPBR. If you ever want me, I'll leave my name in the description below. So if you ever need anything, if you need guides, if you need certain tower support, whenever I'm free, I'll give it to you. I love both games, and I love helping people be better at both games. And this is why I'm making content that is purely for free-to-play players who are not going to spend money on gacha games and then get shafted in the end. So yeah, that's about that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Peace.